Oh.
What?
Is that your shoe?
What?
Sounds like Boogie's
fart?
farting or something.
Good morning. We have a very special guest this morning, Mr. Boogeyman.
Hello, my name is Sergeant. Mamas call me Boogie.
Yeah, I'm very tired today,
Look at his face.
but I really love you guys, so I chose to make
I wanted to chose to
I
make
chose
an
to make an appearance either way. So now, here's the thing, everybody.
Boogie, tell us the thing.
So the thing is, right now, a lot of people are stressed out. But in Dogville, everything is dandy still. And, you know, the reason why I think that people are stressed out is because, you know, at our puppy excursion last week, I was talking to my best friend Zoe about it, and this is what we came up with.
What did you and Zoe talk about?
We think, and this is our theory. We think that people right now are very, very stressed out because there is a virus in people's brains. And that virus gets into their brains through screens. And Zoe and I, we play with kettlebell outside. We run around, we roam, we do whatever.
We are dandy.
In fact, we love this thing called isolation because that means I get to see mamas even more right now. So here's my message to you, everybody. Right now is a special time. And if you are stressed out right now, then you're gonna get through it. Now, the only way that you're going to heal yourself from this virus is if you eliminate the things, the bad things that you hear through here and that you see through here.
Okay, Boogie, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's all I got. I'm going to nap now. Goodbye. Thank you, Boogie. That was amazing. And I agree with you 100%. How come you didn't tell me that yet? So here's the thing, you guys. You know, a lot of people are extremely stressed out, like to a point where it's probably like the most stressful time of most people's lives. But, you know, we all have a choice, for one. And when I say we all have a choice, regardless of what situation you're in and how you're compromised, you have a choice in the sense that you choose what to consume and you also choose what to think about. And I think that the biggest thing with the coronavirus right now is not the virus itself, though it's highly
influential in the...
How do you call it when something passes from one person to the other?
Contagious?
It's highly contagious, yes, but the coronavirus is not the problem. It's the fear around it that's the problem, right? And for the sake of everybody's mental health, especially in our community, you know, it's really important that over the next couple of weeks, we talk mainly about mindset. Because guess what? Your mindset is your foundation for the rest of your life. And now when we talk about mindset, like, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. I don't mean that anything is wrong with you. It's more a matter of let's do some healing from within, because unless there is healing from within, you won't be able to create a change, because change starts right here. Because change requires a commitment. Because if you don't commit, you don't act, right? So drop an emoji. Let me get an amen if you agree with it.
Amen.
But today we're gonna talk about this mental virus that some people have that makes them feel stuck, and that will jeopardize them from ever ever reaching their full potential.
Can we say good morning to everyone?
Good morning, everybody.
Great. Carissa, Ryan, Roslyn, Joe, Sarah, Tammy, Dawn, Lindsay, Danny, Tammy. What's up, y'all?
Good morning, everybody.
We saw a little secret on Facebook. If you guys have been in our community for a long time, you may remember that interviews used to be done by sharing the screen with another Facebook user. And Facebook eliminated that, and we had to go to Zoom. Well, this morning we saw something special, and it might be back. And I would be willing on one of these lives to try to bring in one of our followers and have them join us. But not for today. I just wanted to share that little secret. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning, guys. Okay, so let's talk about how we can be sure to protect ourselves from the contagious mental virus that a lot of people have, that will actually hold them back from ever reaching their full potential. And this virus is thinking that you already know everything, or how we like to call it, the know-it-alls.
Or not even thinking that you know everything. But on a prior episode, I think at the end of last week, I mentioned that it is ignorant for somebody in one field to not take any thoughts, advice, or insight from anybody else in their same field, thinking that they already know everything. That's different than what we're talking about today, but similar principle where, you know, and the reason that this topic came up and what we were inspired by is there have been several people who we are having a conversation with, and they will, there's two things. One of them, they both really drive me crazy. One of them I've learned to deal with more. One of them still drives me crazy, and I'm learning how to get over. The first one that it just is what it is having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, and they say, I know that, and they don't open their mind to understanding how to actually execute that. Because there's one thing there's a difference between knowing and applying, and we've said that before, and we'll probably say it many more times. The other thing that drives me crazy that I'm still not sure how to get over is when somebody not qualified to give advice gives advice.
Oh my
Especially in Facebook comments and messages, like comments on posts, where there's a difference between, hey, this is what I've tried, it worked for me, maybe you want to try it. And there's a difference between saying XYZ works if you don't know and you're not qualified and you're still not at your goal and you're still struggling with your own body goals. You're not qualified to give the advice to somebody else.
Yeah.
But that also is potentially blocking you from actually being able to accept what may work. Because if you are somebody who is, still kind of struggling, still stuck on making progress towards your goals, my heart goes out to you for one, and I want nothing but to help. That's it. But in that position, I know if let's say I have a relationship that's struggling, I'm in no position to give relationship advice. If my car is all messed up and I can't fix it and I don't know what to do with it, I'm in no position to give somebody automobile advice, right? So, but at the same time, if I were to give that advice, in my mind, I think that I know, but maybe I don't if that's what I'm still struggling with. And I think that that's the point that you're making, is that having this mindset of, I know, even if it's subconscious, even if you're like, oh no, I could use help, but you're giving advice to other people unqualified because that's something you still struggle with. Maybe subconsciously you are telling yourself that you do know and blocking yourself from getting past that hurdle and getting what you actually need to move forward. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So, the inspiration from this is, regardless of where it is that you're at, for you guys who are joining us here every single morning, we take you to be growth mindset people who really want to change their lives for the better. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. Change starts with a thought, right? And change requires an evolving thought, right? The greatest teachers in life are also the best students. Now, here's the thing. If you're not willing to take information in, take new information, keep learning regardless of how much you know, then you're not going to keep on learning, which means that you won't keep on evolving and changing, right? And therefore, that will make you be stuck, right? And that's why it's really important to acknowledge, for one, the fact that it doesn't matter how much anybody knows one thing with regards for like one area, or who knows how many areas of their life, you still need to learn more, right? Like, and every day is an opportunity to learn more. Now, if you're like, okay, like I know this, cool. Now, if you don't, if you're blocking yourself from learning more, then you're just blocking yourself from continuously evolving, right? Which is going to, again, block you from changing, right? And that will make you feel stuck. So, I want to challenge anybody in the room, if there's anybody in the room who's like, you know what, like there's this area in my life, like I'm good at it, like, no, like I don't want to take any advice on it. Change that train of thought, because this is a mental virus that will definitely come in your way.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible for somebody to be exposed to too much information for their own good? This is on the contrary to this topic.
This is a great question, and I would say yes, because it doesn't matter how much information you're exposing yourself to. In fact, very rarely is the smartest person in the room the best person in the room, and I will tell you why. If you are just taking in information and you're consuming, then you're not applying enough. Now, the only thing that's going to create the biggest change is not how much you know, but rather how much you apply.
I think there's a whole episode we could do on filtered learning. Meaning, accept anything that is like embrace, not accept, but embrace anything you hear, read, listen to, talk to somebody about, whatever. But filter what you need to in order to keep yourself moving forward. Meaning, and a perfect example of this is all of the diet approaches that are online right now, and everything from meal timing to which carb produces the most whatever hormone to help with fat loss, and all these detailed, like very, very specific, and then there's paleo and Whole30 and keto and intermittent fasting and all of those. But it's like all these detailed things that you can learn, but are they necessary? Is it actually information that is just not doing you any good? And then, there's this learn and apply. Not just consume. We've worked with people at gyms before. We have had coworkers who they're like, oh, I listened to 17 million books this year. And I'm like, great. Is your life any different? Mm-hmm. Because it doesn't matter how many books you consume or how much you read. If you're not applying, your life doesn't change. You just know some shit. And chances are you don't even remember 90% of it. I would rather read one book 10 times in a row so that I can basically write the book myself, because then I know. Mm-hmm. And I can apply and it's stuck with me. That is more effective than reading, I would say, 10 different books. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
So filter your learning, continue learning, be open-minded. I think those are the three main takeaways from this is be open-minded to new information or even more of what you think you may already know. I think that you said this at the beginning, the best teacher is a lifelong student. And we actually learn more by teaching others. And so this goes kind of against what I was saying earlier about giving advice you're not qualified to give. However, like I also said before that, there's a difference between saying you need to do X, Y, Z and saying, hey, this is what I'm trying. There's a difference. Because one comes off as, you must do it this way, this is the right way. And one comes off as, hey, I'm not sure, but I'm willing to experiment on myself. Just felt like I would share the information with you. Mm-hmm. And so I would be clear for the sake of anyone else, and for the sake of yourself, if somebody is replying to a question that you ask, especially in one of our pages, I see this and sometimes it makes me crazy. It doesn't actually happen all too often on our pages, but where somebody will ask a question and then there's answer. And I'm like, if you're all in this group looking for help, how can you give the answer? But that's also not for me to say they don't know the answer. They may know it, just have a hard time applying it. So, it spreads. The goal is just to open your mind to all these scenarios and to be mindful of your own learning and filtering that learning. And then being sure that if you're trying to help somebody else, that it's coming from a place of, that it's very clear that it's coming from a place of, hey, I know this, I have experience in this, I'm qualified to share this, or this is what I'm trying on myself. There's two different distinctions.
Something that all of you guys should be very careful of, when you seek help, or when you are actively seeking help or actively seeking more, is differentiating an opinion from a valued answer.
That's a good way to put it.
I think especially in social media, what happens very often is that instead of giving trusted advice to create a positive change, most people are giving opinions. And I think that's why, especially in the fitness and the weight loss industry, something that drives me nuts is that, and any clown or any person is now
an expert,
a qualified expert. I'm like, really? But how many lives did you change? In fact, before you change other people's life, you need to change your own life. Do you look like you changed your life? Not to sound harsh, but that's the reality of it. I'm the kind of person who and please know that we have mentors, because we actively seek mentors, because I feel like if I'm not learning, I'm not growing. So who am I to keep on being a teacher if I'm not being a student? But when I'm seeking for a mentor, there's a lot of very specific things that I look for to make sure that, what I trust what they say. Now, you guys have to do the same thing, right? Because for any question that you ask, right, you're going to get 20 different comments, right? I want to give you guys an example. The other day I was talking to my mom, she and my dad were getting in a fight, and she's like, all of my friends told me that I should do blah blah blah, and I'm like, Mom, all of your friends are divorced. Who the fuck are they to give you any advice? It's kind of like, this might sound harsh, but it's kind of like a fat person taking advice from another fat person. Like,
on weight loss.
Yeah, like do they look like they're qualified to give you help? No, they haven't changed their life, then they can't change yours. Remember, the change starts from within first. Once you master that, because you need to be one step ahead in order to help other people. That's what I truly believe. I don't think you need to be like, the world's most renowned whatever to change lives, because that's an evolving journey. Mm-hmm. However, like, you need to choose very carefully who you're getting information from. And a lot of times people who are not qualified are simply just giving their opinion. Mm-hmm. And there is a big difference between an opinion and trusted information.
Amen. There's also, you said a fat person taking advice from another fat person on weight loss. Now, there's always two sides to every coin.
Yeah, of course. There's always exceptions too.
And I've worked. These are like, I've worked with personal trainers who are incredibly smart, so smart, and actually have a good deal of value to add to anybody's life. However, because they don't look the part, they don't get approached for help. I've also met people with shredded bodies get a lot of asking for help, and I am afraid for the person asking for help because I know that person cannot help them. That person knows how to help themselves. There's a lot of things that go into being a good teacher and a mentor and a leader and a guider. Not just, I know how to get myself 6-pack abs. Oh, also, I'm a dude and I eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches all the time. Because what works, and it happens especially from the male to the female. Like, if female's asking a male for advice, your bodies are extremely different.
Yeah, I saw an ad. Like, there's this dude, I think, from LA who's running an ad. Apparently, he's an expert in transforming females' bodies. I'm like, for one, the first misalignment that I see is the fact that how can you relate to women?
How can you be an expert in something you have no experience with?
Of course you can help the other sex, but it's like, you don't have any personal experience with the shit that women go through. And, we had to talk about it on Friday, right? Like, just if you think about the time of the month, it's like, dude, he doesn't even know.
There's no clue. The hormones are not the same.
Like, what happens to us when we PMS?
The mind is not the same.
Or like when we get pregnant. I didn't even get pregnant yet. I mean, whoa, that's going to be a whole, experience in and of itself. And shout out to all the moms in the house. And I'm not saying it to talk down on any males who are in the room right now, but I think like it's funny.
You said it doesn't mean that they can't help. It's just, how can you be an expert at something you actually have no firsthand experience with? Blows my mind. Maybe you can be. I don't know. This is me being open-minded, but I have a hard time believing it. I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure. But basically, the take-home message is pay attention very closely to what Boogie said earlier, because he's definitely a trusted source of information.
Source of information.
How can you not trust this guy? But, you guys, there's just so much noise out there right now. And especially like with everything that's going on with the coronavirus, one of the most important things that you have to do is you have to limit your consumption. And that is not even diet related. That is mental related.
What's going through here and in here?
What your brain is consuming, right? So like, if there is a person or a source or a media stream in your life that's just bringing you down, not adding any value or positivity to your life, cut that shit. Like, especially right now, we have to be extra careful of what it is that we're surrounded by, because we're all in a compromised situation and there is a lot of uncertainty.
Okay? You know what? I want to share something to evaluate. If you want a trusted source of like quick informational updates on what is going on in the economy, in the world, in business, in the virus, in everything, but is also uplifting and kind of like humorous at the same time, send me a message and I will send you a link to the best like 5-minute update on every category. And then it's just, you can click on the links to learn more if you want to, but it is the most epic, and I read it every morning and it takes me 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm updated and I don't have to consume any other information that maybe make me feel negative or whatever, and done.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, that is all.
That's all for today, everybody.
I'm going to take a nap right now. Remember, Rise Above workout number 11 will be going live at 8 a.m. So in 1 hour. In the meantime, go ahead and drink your coffee, consume only positive, trusted information. For those of us who are doing the Quarantine Wellness Challenge, happy day 2.
Happy day 2. I already got in 20 ounces of water, and it is 7 a.m.
20 ounces? Nice. I got like 8 or 10.
6 to 8. No, I think you got 8.
Yeah, I think
that
so
glass
too.
is 16 and it was like half full.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Mama,
besides the point.
How about me, Mama?
How much water did you drink this morning? How much?
All of it.
Okay, the bowl is gone?
Yep.
You drink all the bowl?
Yep.
I think about 16 ounces.
Okay.
Good boy. So thank you guys so much for being here. We love you so much. We're grateful that you are showing up on a regular basis. Invite your friends. We want to see them show up too. We have millions of lives to change. And it starts with you and it starts with us. And so together we rise above. See you.
See you at 8 a.m. and see you
tomorrow.
Yes.
Bye, guys.